Hello guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. I am a little bit sick, so I'm sorry if I sound kind of congested or I sound kind of not myself, because your girl has been dealing with a cold for the last week. So I really feel so weird talking like this, so I hope it's coming out normal. I kind of decided that this year I wanted to change things up a little bit, and I wanted to do things a little bit different here on my channel. And instead of kind of doing the same thing over and over again, I don't want to play off the same themes I've been doing for my whole YouTube career so far. I don't want to do Tinder videos when I don't want to do a Tinder video, because that's just what people are used to. But my life doesn't revolve around that anymore, and humans constantly change, and so I'm feeling ready for new content. I know when you hear someone say new year, new me, it sounds super lame, because it's girl, how did you change within 24 hours? But I really kind of feel that. So I hope you guys are okay with kind of a brand new year on my channel, changing things up, and just kind of doing more authentically me things, and things that I actually would love to sit down and do and get excited about filming, rather just filming it because I know that's what the people want to see. Now, I will always film things that you guys want to see. I will always make sure, I entertain you and give you what you want, because of course you guys are the only people that made me. You guys are why I'm here. You guys are why I have anyone that watches me. Don't worry, I will never stray from that, but it just kind of dawned on me yesterday, and I made a list of videos. I hope you're excited, and I hope that you're excited for kind of this new year, this new me, this new Liv that you're going to be hanging out with every week. And I'm ready to be as real as fucking possible. I want to break down that wall a little bit more. I want to make this chill. I want to be relaxed, and I want to be happy. So I hope you guys will stay on the journey with me, and it's going to be litty titty. Today's video is a little bit interesting, and I was not really thinking about posting it until this happened. Well, I was thinking about posting this about a different experience, but this experience definitely takes the cake and taught me something a lot more, and was low-key very eye-opening for me. I'm going to get into the story and tell you about something that actually happened to me really recently, actually last weekend on New Year's, and it's a fresh story time, so I'm here to share that. I think it's actually really interesting, and it's something that I can kind of share with you guys and just express why things are not always as they seem. So I'm going to tell you guys about a really scary trip that I had, and just kind of go from there. So let's do it. Usually I plan to title these videos the story time I never thought I would tell. I recently did a video like this, but it was about my first time trying Molly and kind of my experience with that, and a warning and safety tips and all that. So I'm just gonna start by saying, with acid or LSD, I am not at all used to it. It is not something that I do all the time. It's not something that I ever try or want to do. It just kind of so happened to fall in my lap, and I thought, why not? Because I have had a previous experience with it before, and it was a really nice experience, but it was very low-key. So a lot of people say that acid and LSD is very spiritual. It's a little bit different than just a party drug or things that people like to do, and it's just more for something to do in nature and just stuff like that. So my experience with it for the first time was very low-key. It was probably on level with smoking weed, in the fact of it just kind of made me laugh, made me see colors brighter, and that was pretty much it. I just had really cool thoughts. I made a lot of realizations, and I just kind of felt woke. I know it sounds kind of cheesy, but I just felt woke as fuck. I thought I would give it a try again, but it was a completely different experience. I'm gonna also start by saying that I don't know enough about this to give anyone facts or very detailed information. I'm sure there's plenty of other videos on YouTube if you would like safety information and stuff like that. But regardless, if I'm ever sitting here talking to you guys about a substance or something like this, I'm never promoting it, ever. And it's probably something that you should do your research on if you were ever planning to do something like this. I know some of you watching definitely already have tried this before, so it's going to be a little bit familiar to you. But for the younger viewers and the people that are watching this, please don't go out there and try this. Do your research. Take your time to think if this is something that you would ever want to do. As I was saying in the beginning, I'm really trying to be real and authentic here, and I just want to be completely transparent. I'm not going to ignore the real things that go on, the real things that I've experimented with, the real things that people like you are going to try in the future or are going to want to try. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that's never going to happen. So I'm saying, I'm not the person to go to for all your information on this stuff, so please do your research, test kits, all that good stuff, and if this is ever something that is going to cross your mind, but this story specifically is for pure entertainment and pure letting you guys know what happened to me. I'm gonna stop like rambling and having my little spiel to you, but remember, just be safe with whatever you do. And I just think it's interesting to open up like topics of conversation like this. Okay, so this story is about definitely more on the side of a bad trip, and I'm going to explain to you why. So this actually happened last weekend at Countdown New Year's Eve, which is a rave, and it's a place that me and Seb love to go to. We love to go to all different kinds of raves. We absolutely are obsessed with the music, the DJs, the vibes, the friends we have there. Like, we literally have a set like rave group of friends now. It's just amazing, and it really makes you feel like included in something, and we go to like have a good time, and sometimes these things happen to fall in your lap and you are like, maybe I'll try it, and it's not always the best idea. We got there on Saturday and we had an amazing first day. Day one at Countdown was absolutely lit, and it was way more low-key. So when you go to these events, they are 2-day events, 2-day raves, and the first day is always way more low-key than the second day. The second day is always super wild and crazy, and there's probably double the people there. Like, it really gets crazy. First day we had like an amazing time. We just chilled, we danced, we hung out, we listened to Porter Robinson, who's like one of my favorite DJs, and I got to see him live again. It was absolutely amazing. That day went super swell. Didn't go to bed at all that night. Like, we stayed up partying, we stayed up hanging out with our friends in the hotel up until about 6 a.m. Because when you only have 2 days to celebrate New Year's and just one weekend to get lit and have so much fun, why do you ever want to go to bed, right? I ended up not going to bed. Like, I don't know why I decided to not go to bed when I know I have a whole nother day ahead of me, and you have to be like, you have to have your energy up, you have to be eating good, you have to be drinking a lot of water, staying hydrated, because like, it's a party. It's an all-night party at these things. I definitely went against like my gut, which is super important. Always listen to your gut in whatever situation, because it will usually save you from really intense situations. So we end up getting our hands on these 2 little tiny gel tabs, and basically what acid is like, it is in little tiny tab forms, and it is so tiny that you literally look at it and you're like, there's no way this can do anything to me more than like what it would feel like to smoke weed or like drink a little alcohol. Like, it is so little, it cannot take over my body. Boy was I wrong. So we're driving there with our friends, we're driving to the rave, and we're kind of asking them like, do you think this is a good idea for us to do this? Like, when you go to take acid, it is a 12-hour long experience. You really can't sleep unless you take like a sleeping pill or something like that to put you to bed and put you out of your trip. You were basically stuck in a different mindset and seeing things for 12 hours. And so I was very underestimating this, but 12 hours is pretty crazy. And they're all for it, you know, they say like they're gonna be there for us if anything happens or if it's bad. And I'm like, you know what, maybe this is going to be an eye-opening experience. I can start my 2018 super cool, like this is gonna be dope. This is gonna be an experience that I think I'll really like. But Sebastian's over here questioning it a lot, and he's not quite sure that it's going to be a good idea because, like, he knows who I am, and I'm not a bitch to be, you know, raving and doing acid every day. Like, that's just not, like, how I am, like, when it comes to any kind of substance. So he's a little bit nervous for me, and he's, like, kind of thinking, like, we shouldn't do it, and he's ready to back out. But for me, I'm kind of just ready. It's New Year's Eve. This is New Year's Eve night, and I'm ready to go. Like, ain't nothing stopping me. So he kind of, like, gets a little bit of alcohol in his system just to like get him going, get him like having a good time, and he decides that this is a good idea. So we end up in the festival, and we're inside. We're about to go to the porta potties to stop and do a little bathroom trip before we go in, and I look at the thing that I'm about to take, the little tiny tab that I'm about to take, and I'm like, yeah, there's no way this can do anything bad to me. This is gonna be super fun. It's just going to make me have a little more energy and have a really good time. Like, when I say I underestimated, like, I underestimated. So we take the tab and we let it dissolve, swallow it, and that is when you know your 12-hour ride is about to begin, once it is in your system. So I get out of the bathroom and we walk over to the water refill station, the free water refill station, and we're in there. It's probably like 5 minutes before we took it. And I'm kind of looking at the lights, and the lights are like starting to show their fractals. So it looks like there's an aura around every light, and my eyes are getting kind of blurry. I can't see out of my eye right now. It is so blurry. I'm just kind of starting to like try to see things clearly, but it's not working. It feels like there is like a hair in my eye or something that is like blocking my vision, because everything is starting to look super blurry, and I'm starting to low-key lose vision in this eye. And the thing about that is I was like, okay, to come up on acid where you actually start feeling it, it usually takes about like an hour, maybe 45 minutes at the least. And this was like 5 to 10 minutes in. So I'm like, there's no way like I'm seeing things right now. And mind you, my very first time I've ever tried anything like this, basically the same thing, I didn't really see any visuals. So when I would look at things, everything looked completely normal. It was just a little bit brighter. So you can see I wasn't afraid of this because I didn't understand, which is also a fair warning to anybody. So I'm kind of like getting nervous and I'm trying to calm myself down. People in the water line are talking to us and like befriending us, giving us free gum. It's just like super fun. But it took a really long time. So it probably took about 20 to 30 minutes in the water line waiting because it was so packed this night, you guys. It was so packed. There was people everywhere. So we ended up going to meet up with their rave squad, the friends that we were with. These are like their friends from their hometown and everything. So we met them and we walk over to this area and there was people walking by us like so fast, but I'm not sure if they were walking by us fast. It just basically was how I was feeling. So I explain it like this. You know, when you start off, everything is going in regular motion, right? Like everyone's walking by normally, everything's regular motion, but as this starts kicking into your system, I would say like every 20 minutes, it gets faster times 2. So everything would be like times 2. And then it would go times 4, and then it would go times 6, and like I'm talking about in speed. Everything was just going super fast. There was people running around us, there was people yelling, there was people who looked so gone, like their eyes just looked like they weren't there. I don't know what in the world they were on. So all of a sudden we get like a ton of energy. And so we're like, you know what, let's go, like we're ready to go into the crowds. And me and Seb aren't really like that. We like to be on the outside of the crowd. We like to chill and like watch the stage sometime and just like sit down and stuff. Like we're not always about like being right in the middle of the party. Another thing about an LSD come up is that you are not supposed to jump right into things like that. You're supposed to chill and relax and kind of like just be calm. We jump into the crowd. The huge group of us is probably like 10 people. We jump into the crowd automatically under the tent, which is where Joyride was playing. He's a DJ, super fucking lit. Like the music was going ham. And I posted a Snapchat and I think I said like, it's a New Year's party, yo, or something like that. And I was like filming it and it was just super, super wild. And I was filming the music, I was filming all the people, and I was just starting to look around me, and everyone was just starting to look really crazy. Like they just looked like they weren't there, like mentally, and they were just dancing like crazy. And there was all these super weird totems, which is like signs that people hold that they make. And then just like the music was blasting, the lights were so bright, like I literally could not see. I was being blinded by them. And so everyone is dancing, and I'm dancing too. Like I'm not even questioning like my moves, I'm just going for it. I'm literally like... But ladies and gentlemen, this is when everything starts going south. Because I know myself, and I'm not one to ever handle too much. I'm not a heavy drinker, I'm not a heavy smoker, I don't even smoke, like I really don't do anything. To throw myself in a situation where this was my second time taking this, and I didn't really know what I was doing, and to be in a really crazy party situation with extreme stimulation, like with lights, music, touch, like people around me, and I'm very also claustrophobic. I was trying to be cool because all of my friends and Sebastian was just dancing away and having a good time, but I couldn't. And I was starting to feel like at any moment I was going to pass out. And the thing about these raves and stuff like that is you really have to look out for yourself and your health and your body, because I can't even tell you how many people, specifically the first night, I saw passed out on the floor. Like literally passed out, except they were sitting up because their friend was like holding them up. They had to be wheeled out on a wheelchair. And I saw another guy when I was dancing to Porter, who's like my favorite DJ, and he goes, "I need to get out of here, I need to get out of here, excuse me." He's carrying his friend over his shoulder who was just completely limp and passed out. There was a guy running out with his friend over his shoulder. Like that's the thing, is like with the heat and the stimulation and the things that these people do, like you just have to be really careful because it can seriously go south if your body can't handle it. So I was starting to freak myself out and I wasn't able to handle it. Everything was starting to look weird and everything was starting to kind of start to morph and change. And when they say an acid trip, like you see crazy shit, it's not a joke. You don't see things that aren't there necessarily sometimes, but you like see everything in a totally different light. Like it basically just looks like everything is breathing and moving. Like if this was a tree and it just stands like this all the time, the tree would be going like this. And that's every single thing. And when I would look at Sebastian's face, I started to see like I wasn't able to see it right, and it just looked like all these like fractals in his face were just moving. I don't like to be not in control of my body. It freaks me out, dude. I'm starting to get nervous, and I know like all these people are around me, and I don't want to be that party pooper because me and Sebastian were already debating this whole time, like, do we even do it? Like, we're nervous. But we decided to do it, and now we're like an hour in, right at the peak, right when I'm supposed to be like feeling it the most, and I cannot handle it. So they start to notice, and they're like, okay, we gotta get you out of here. Like, they were asking me nonstop, like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm good. And I'm just trying to dance to the music, looking at the lights, about to freaking pass out. And so they finally are like, you're not good. And they take me out to go sit down. But the only place to sit down was by this little like metal fence, and then everyone was still walking around us. So it was like everything was moving super fucking fast. Everyone was running, racing, doing all this stuff. There's people throwing up on the sidelines, and I'm just sitting here super freaking out because my vision is just done. Everything is blurry, everything's bright, and everything is moving. Like, if anything, I should have felt like I was going like this the whole time, because that's what everything felt like. It was scary. Like, this specific trip was really fucking scary. So I kind of started to cry because I'm like, I didn't want to do this. I don't want to ruin anyone's night. I know in my head now that this is going to be going on for 12 hours. And we just started this, like, we're only an hour in. And so that was giving me anxiety. That was giving me like a major panic attack. I was starting to freak out knowing I wasn't able to stop this, and I was also in the middle of a rave, in the middle of a city that I wasn't familiar with, and our hotel was like 15 minutes away. So I'm scared. I don't know, it's like, do I leave? Do I stay? This is New Year's Eve. It's about 8:30 at night. Why do I want to go home and have like a terrible night, have a bad trip, or put myself to sleep and not even get to see midnight? So I was stuck. And Sebastian was trying so hard to take care of me, talk me out of it, help me the best that he could, because I was being stubborn at the same time and I didn't want to go. But I also knew in my head there was a chance I'd be able to get myself out of this and still have a good time and just kind of enjoy it more than let it take control of me. So I was trying so hard to like get the visuals to go away, but that's impossible. It didn't happen. Sebastian ended up calming me down, and he took me to a heater, and it started to get continuously colder. I was in a sweatshirt, underwear, like rave underwear, rave bottoms, socks, and Converse. And it was probably like 30-something degrees outside. It was so cold it felt like Antarctica. Everyone was freezing. There was girls like half naked just standing by the like heater thing with the fire so that they could get warm. There was probably like 40 people around the one heater that worked. It was like ratchet, you guys, and it was starting to freak me out because I just felt like super uncomfortable. So we were being dragged back and forth by our friends in the rave group, and we were all like trying to find each other. If one person like had to go to the bathroom, then we would all have to go to the bathroom and then go back to the set and watch the DJ. It was like basically just trying to keep track of each other and keep everyone happy, but it was like too hard. So I was having a terrible time at this point. There was like at some times where like my friend gave me his like little head thing, so it was like a polar bear hat, and then like your hands go into the paws. It's like one of those little like furry hoods, I guess you could call it, and it was like a polar bear style, and so I felt like a polar bear, and I was standing in the crowd with my little like polar bear hat on, just dancing like this, and I couldn't stop laughing. And I would say that was like one of the only good memories of that night, because I would just go in and out of a bad fucking trip. Like, I can't even explain to you the feeling it was, and Seb was just trying to take care of me the whole time, that he wasn't even like fully enjoying like his time there, and like my friends were just kind of like doing their own thing. They were like drinking a lot, so they were like definitely not fully like focused on what was going on with us. Me and Seb kind of knew it was like with us, like we had to take care of ourselves, we had to be the ones to be in control, but we were both tripping balls. And then like we'd go to the bathroom sometimes. I had to pee a lot, which is really weird, and there's nothing more scary than going to a porta potty while you are on acid, because you like cannot see clearly. And Seb even told me don't lock the porta potty door, because basically this is all you need to know, is like if you lock the porta potty door, you're seeing so much crazy stuff and you're not seeing everything correctly and it's all moving that you like wouldn't even be able to locate the porta potty lock and like unlock it. It would be too difficult for me. Like that's how crazy my vision was. I don't like that. I don't like visuals. Some people do. It's why would anybody want to be stuck in that for 12 hours? I don't understand it anymore. Maybe I'm just missing something, but, and not to mention, there was no toilet paper in the bathroom towards the end of the night. When I say it gets ratchet on day 2, I'm being for real. And then as you continue to go outside, there's more people like throwing up. Some girl asked me to take a picture on her like camera for them, like of the group, and I was like tripping too hard that I was just quiet. And I was like, yeah, I can do it. And so I take it and I'm like, how do I take a picture? I was like fully lost and just like had no idea really where I was or like how to do any normal task or anything like that. And it's such a weird feeling. Like I don't even know. And then she was like, are you tripping? Oh, okay, I will have someone else do it. And she got like all mad, but like she was like the one that asked me. So anyways, it was a very odd situation and I was like, I felt so bad. We end up going to this place called the Oasis and Seb knows I'm miserable. I'm not happy because I'm scared. Like there's just too many people around me. He like sits me down on this rug. He asks the lady like there's a girl there to help you because honestly at raves like they have specific dedicated places to people that are like tripping too hard or are doing something else way too hard and they need a place to go and relax because they understand like that's what people do and it gets really intense at these places. So I got a really comfy spot and I relaxed and Seb was like, you know what, we have to go home. Like we're not gonna have a good night. Like we literally are not enjoying ourselves. This is miserable. It is 30-degree temperatures. We lost our friends. Everyone's throwing up and passing out. Like, this is madness. At this point, I realized my raving day tonight is over. And I was sad because I love raving. I love the DJs. I missed Dead Mouse. I missed, like, some other people. DJ Mustard I really wanted to see. And I just missed so many people. But the only good thing I can say is while we were at the Oasis sitting on the rug, it hit midnight and me and Seb got our New Year's kiss, even though we were very unhappy and just very lost and confused. This is also where it gets really weird. So me and Seb decided it was our time to go and find the Uber parking lot because we were not going to be able to find our friends or stay here any longer and we didn't want to ruin their night and have them drop us home to the hotel because they had driven us and like picked us up to the venue. So we were like, let's just Uber home. And so as we're walking out, you kind of lose your sense of like direction and like how to do things properly. So we were like asking security guards like, you know, where's the Uber lot? Can you please help direct us? And they go,
I don't know, look at the map.
So a security guard, someone that works there, did not know how to get to the Uber parking lot, which is how all these crazy fucked up people are gonna get home safe. And so we're like, okay. And trust me when I say like we're in our right minds, like as in like, we can talk to people perfectly, like we're able to function physically and all that stuff, but we're just a little bit confused. We need some help. So we walk to the map and we look at the map, but it just looks like gibberish to us because it's just moving like crazy. You can't see it perfectly and your mind just cannot process direction and stuff like that. So we look at the guy next to us and we ask for help. And he goes,
oh, I see. I got lost, so I'm lost right now.
He had no idea what we even said to him. We asked him for the Uber parking lot direction, and he just told us, continued to say how lost he was, when we're lost ourselves. So we're just sitting here like, is this us? Like, are we tripping really hard? Or are people really this stupid and drugged out right now? Because, and yeah, I know we're not like, anyone to talk at that moment, but it was like surprising how many people were just so like, off their fucking rocker this night. Like no one knew what they were doing. So we continue to walk and we do our best. We walk out of the front gates and we start walking with everybody else. We just start following the group of people leaving at like 12:30. So we're walking down this long stretch of road, 30 degrees. I'm in a polar bear hat and I'm in a space blanket because I also got that at the Oasis place where they like help you out. And it was basically a piece of plastic. So I'm walking around with a piece of plastic wrapped around me, a polar bear head, and basically no pants. And I'm just like, if only my parents knew what I was doing right now. And I felt like I was lost, like completely lost. We were walking down this strip of road that I thought would never end. It was probably a 1 to 2 mile straight walk down to a Target. Like we were at an event center and we had to walk to a Target at like 12:30, couldn't see shit. Oh, you guys, it stresses me out talking about this. We're walking and we start asking the people that are walking with us. We're like, is this the way to the Uber parking lot? Like, it must be, right?
I don't know.
Ask the next person. Is this the way to the Uber parking lot?
Oh, yeah, man. I think so.
No one could give us any answers. Everyone was so not okay. And we were getting so frustrated because it's like, so we're all just walking with no purpose. Can somebody please step in and help us? Like, we're all just lost, confused souls. So we finally see the Target and we see there is some kind of end in sight. There was like this weird, like, blacked out van right next to the Uber parking lot where like Insomniac, the rave event, like sets it up for people to get home. And there's like this black van and he had like a speakerphone thing and he was like yelling out like free rides or something like that. And Sebastian was like going to take the offer. And I was like, yeah, let's go in a van while we're tripping on acid, don't even know where we are in a city we're unfamiliar with, and they're offering free rides next to the Uber parking lot. Like, it's probably not safe. They probably want to kill us and sell us to sex slavery. This is not related to the Uber parking lot, which is run by the company, so you're safe. This is fucking a random van. Like, no. And so we finally get to the Uber parking lot and there's a giant group of people and we're basically just zombies. Like, it's kind of scary to see how some of these people are when they're like just really getting so fucked up that they are literal zombies. We were trying to get to our Uber because it finally pulled up and people just wouldn't move. We were like, excuse me, almost to the point of pushing them out of our way, and they were just like, everyone was standing there like we didn't exist, like we were ghosts and they couldn't hear us. We needed help and everyone was just as needing help as we were. It was like we were gonna be stuck. It was really weird. So we had to like push our way through this crowd because no one was paying any attention to us or even caring that our Uber was there. So we finally get in, we finally talk to someone that knows what they're doing, a sober Uber driver, and we tell them about like everything and just how we're ready to get home. Walk into the hotel, and right as we get into the hotel, there's 2 police officers. We make no eye contact because we're like, everyone probably knows we're tripping right now, which is not true. Obviously, it's just in our heads. Finally got to our hotel room, and that is when the visuals kicked in even harder, and I had a pretty bad panic attack. When you're in the hotel room, basically everything looked crazy. The walls just had a bunch of patterns on them. The Keurig coffee machine in the corner was like all different kinds of like designs. Like, it was all different shapes. It was like curved, it was straight, it was like just looked totally messed up, like an alternate universe. And then we turned on the TV and it was Disney Channel, and it was Jake Paul's TV show, the one that he used to be on. I've never seen it, never cared for it or anything like that, but it was Jake Paul's TV show, and his face looked like the Scream painting, okay? Because you know how the Scream painting, the face is all weird and like long? His face was just morphing. His eyes were getting big and small. His face was going in and out. And I was starting to freak out. I was like, I don't want this. I don't like this. Like, what the heck is this? I just wanted to have a good time. I was trying to watch this TV show, but I just could not do it. I just kind of started having breathing problems, which is a whole nother issue with me. I have really bad anxiety, and I want to make a video about that in a couple weeks for sure, because it's actually getting kind of bad. But it was really bad during this because I knew what was happening to my body, and like that there was something inside of it that was making me feel this way, and it just made me even more scared. Seb did his most amazing job to get us home safe and to make sure I was calm and that I didn't, you know, have a freak out or anything like that. And I ended up being okay, and then, you know, our friends called us and we talked to our friends on the phone and kind of calmed us down. And then the ones from the rave also came by and like made sure we were good once the rave was over, but then they went back to their hotel. But after pretty much that situation, I got myself to calm down, and usually you're not able to sleep until your trip is over. Like, you literally have to stay up and you are forced to see and feel everything that your trip is supposed to express to you. But I was so tired from the night before because I didn't sleep that I ended up going to bed around like, I think 4 o'clock or something. But I woke up and I immediately started crying, and I was just like, that was so overwhelming. I'm not a perfect angel. Like, I did something that I wasn't 100% sure about. I knew it was safe and tested and all that stuff, but I obviously didn't know its effects. But it's just definitely something I should have looked into more before I set myself up for that. But I mean, I am safe, I'm here. It did no damage to me, I'm okay. We got home safely, and that was what was important, because if I was just me and I didn't have Sebastian with me or anyone to like help take care of me, I would have been wandering the streets of San Bernardino just wondering how to get home, because I would have just been so lost and clueless and just seeing everything so weird and moving, and like I just would have been lost. I probably just would have like passed out. Like, I don't even know. I know I watched Anna Campbell's video about like candy flipping, and it was like her really bad trip, and I remember just getting so much bad anxiety from that, and I should have taken a lesson because I watched that video quite a while ago, but I decided to give it a go anyway, and it was just really wild. It was probably similar things she was experiencing, and she learned from doing that specific substance. So yeah, I mean, that's just my story. That is my bad trip story. My first time, if I would have told you about my first experience before this had happened, it would have sounded honestly kind of fun and funny and crazy, but this was a lot different. So it's just something to realize that, you know, every single experience is different. Every person is different, and you just need to research what you're gonna do, if you're gonna do it, or just don't do it at all, and you'll never get yourself into a situation like that, freezing cold and lost on the streets of San Bernardino. I don't know, I want you guys to be safe. I'm here to share my experiences, and you know, I'm just here to be fucking real. Like, you're not alone. If anyone out there has tried it and done it, like, hey girl, what's up? Like, I'm 22, I've tried it too, I've experienced things in life. I'm a girl that wants to experience things in life. I don't want to be perfect. I want to learn and know about things so that I have a knowledge and I can share my experiences, my opinions, my tips, my safety tips, anything I want to do. So I hope that that was somewhat interesting to you or entertaining. Raves are for the music, raves are for the DJs, and they are so much fun. I will never stop going to them. But, you know, I've learned something, and I will not ever do that. Probably ever again, but definitely not at a festival, because that can just send you right into a bad trip. And yeah, that's exactly what happened to me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and just had pure entertainment out of it, or learned something from it, or whatever that may be. But that was my story about recently trying LSD and having a very crazy experience. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and look forward to the videos coming up. I am super excited for this year. It's going to be awesome. So if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell and click it until it says all videos, because I think if you click it once, it says like it'll notify you for only a few videos. So yeah, make sure to do that and follow me on social media. The links are in my description. And I think that is all for me today. So I'm going to go chill, and I hope that you guys have an amazing rest of your day. I love you with my whole freaking heart, and I will see your lovely, beautiful faces in my next video. Bye, guys.